Jadwiga of Poland, Christina of Sweden, and Wilhelmina of the Netherlands. What do they have in common with the boat we're about to test today? All three were monarchs who ascended the throne at a very young age and, over time, became symbols of authority.
FIM, Fabbrica Italiana Motoscafi, è un cantiere
FIM, Fabbrica Italiana Motoscafi, is a relatively young shipyard, founded in 2019 through the collaboration of Corrado Piccinelli and Manuela Barcella, later strengthened by the arrival of Vanis Marchi. From the very beginning, the shipyard has succeeded in establishing its own identity, and today it presents a new Regina, ready to sail toward her future. Because, as often happens, history is ready to repeat itself. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the new FIM 500 Regina, the flagship of the Bergamo-based shipyard's open fleet. And today, I'm in Varese, Italy, to test her. Let's get started. This is The Boat Show. Sportiness and elegance are the features that immediately stand out. But to truly appreciate this model, it's worth focusing on the details, materials and finishes that clearly place her at an excellent level. At the stern, the full-beam electro-hydraulic platform facilitates access to a tender garage, sized to accommodate a tender up to the dimensions of a Williams 285. A nearly 4-metre-long moving area over more than 1.5 metres wide, an integrated blower inside the garage, and oversized cleats mounted on steel plates. These are the details that make this feel less like the beach area of an open walk-around and more like that of a super yacht. On a different deck level, the aft cockpit unfolds, completed by the now essential fold-down bulwarks. The movement is electric, so no hydraulic pistons or pressurized oil pumps. Everything is operated by an electric actuator, which, in the event of failure, can also be operated manually. At the center of the cockpit, the large sun pad dominates the scene, extending to embrace a rounded stainless steel central table with a very nautical feel, enhanced by herringbone wood inlay. This is now a consolidated stylistic signature of the yacht, which also finds its place in the exterior design of this model, curated by Design a Lot Studio, led by Alessandro Lottici. This is a detail not to be overlooked, very marine in character, because this cushion provides safe and comfortable support for anyone passing through, and once opened, it completes the dining area. The wet bar unit completes the layout with a central refrigerator, ice maker, sink, and the option to choose between an induction cooktop or a barbecue. But the real highlight is this. A fully sealed Silvox. This is truly a marine television with which you can watch your favorite episode. The superstructure is made of carbon fiber composite and vinyl ester resin, the same resin used with fiberglass for the hull and deck. The hardtop extends aft, protecting about 3/4 of the dinette, and integrates electrically operated slats that promote natural air circulation. At the stern, the two stanchions at the deck edges, enhanced with stainless steel details, increase the perception of solidity of a very lightweight structure. Stainless steel is also used in the side air intakes, with an important detail. The fuel fill is integrated there so as not to stain the teak deck. The double curved, tempered glass windshield ensures excellent visibility. At the bow, the sun pad partially reveals the walk-around nature of this boat. Sliding over a large fixed glass surface, this module redesigns the space, creating a second intimate and secluded forward dinette. All in maximum simplicity, without ever sacrificing plenty of space to relax. Below deck, the design choices are clear. From the flooring pattern, optional of course, available either according to your taste or in oak, to the layout itself, everything results from collaboration between the shipyard's in-house design studio and Studio Nero Cardinale. There is no traditional dinette. The passageway is instead dedicated to a second interior galley, with a contemporary yet timeless feel, featuring a Korean countertop, concealed sink and, on request, an induction cooktop. Opposite it, a concealed fridge tower, elegant and functional, with 2 refrigerators of over 120 litres each, or alternatively, a wine cellar. There are 2 cabins, but without a strict distinction between master and VIP. Here, the owner's taste matters more than the rigid hierarchy. Forward, the layout is classic, full beam with the bed oriented toward the bow. You're certainly impressed by the natural light once lying on the bed. A full-height wardrobe sits alongside the vanity unit, while mirrored bulkheads defining the ensuite bathroom amplify the perception of space, in a choice that is perhaps more aesthetical than nautical. Aft, the cabin is arranged over 2 deck levels, allowing truly remarkable headroom, consistent with the generous volumes throughout the boat. Now, that may sound like everything and nothing. I'm not particularly tall, but you can see that I can't even touch the ceiling. The full beam asymmetrical layout moves the space, makes it more dynamic, and uses every function efficiently. The mirrored, reflective and transparent bulkheads not only amplify the perception of space, but also introduce a more intimate, almost theatrical dimension, discreetly accompanying the most private moments on board. They call it the sexy shower, a name that leaves little to the imagination.
Oh, finalmente I motori sono accesi, ma prima di partire dobbiamo...
Finally, the engines are running, but before we set off, let's take a quick look at the Helm instrumentation. We have 2 Raymarine displays, in this case 12-inch screens, which can be upgraded to 16 inches. On the left, the full on-off switch panel. On the right, the throttle levers, close to the steering wheel, plus the joystick and, for those who want it, the bow thruster. There's also a redundant Volvo Penta display. Now let's get going and enjoy this new FIM 500 Regina.
Tra le 18 e le 19 tonnellate.
Between 18 and 19 tons. That's the light displacement of this boat. Also thanks to the fact that it can be fully equipped and accessorized.
Tutto questo può essere spinto da 2 tipologie di motorizzazione
It can be powered by 2 different engine options. The first features IPS D8 800 units, 600 horsepower each for a total of 1,200 horsepower. Alternatively, there's a slightly less powerful D8 700 option for more moderate cruising.
Voglio da subito farla uscire in planata e vedere qual è il suo limite.
I want to get her on plane right away and see her planing threshold. We're at 1,600, 1,700 RPM per engine, 11.8 knots, and the wake is still not clearly detached. She obviously needs a bit more power.
E infatti è a 13 nodi e mezzo.
And indeed, at 13.5 knots and 1,800 RPM, the wake is fully detached.
Questo dato mi fa capire da subito la massa.
This immediately shows the mass and scale of the vessel, which, however, will later help us enjoy her seakeeping abilities. At this condition, I would expect a very different trim angle on the waves. Looking carefully from above, the hull balance on the water is almost perfect.
Il bilanciamento dello scafo sull'acqua è quasi perfetto. La poppa non è...
The stern is not low and the bow is not excessively high. This ensures excellent forward visibility and, above all, perfect water incidence, even in this navigation condition, which is usually the most demanding for most boats.
È difficile per la maggior parte delle imbarcazioni. Ok, togliamola dall'impiccio e diamole un po' più di gas.
Alright, let's free her up and give her more throttle. We reach 19 knots at 2,135 RPM. Consumption is 7.2 litres per nautical mile. Keep that in mind, because you'll soon see that as the speed increases, it drops significantly.
Supero I 20 nodi.
We passed 20 knots, reaching a slow cruising speed of 23.5 knots at 2,450 RPM. Now consumption is 6.8 litres per nautical mile. But we can do better.
Eh già, perché a 2550 giri minuto e 26 nodi di velocità, il consumo è sceso.
At 2,500 RPM and 26 knots, consumption drops further to 6.6 litres per nautical mile. Considering a maximum fuel capacity of 1,400 litres, a quick calculation shows you can comfortably cover 210 to 220 nautical miles, maintaining a 10% fuel reserve as recommended. All this in steady navigation, but how does she behave in manoeuvres?
Entro senza paura.
I enter a full port veer at 25 knots with no hesitation.
Lei risponde con una morbidezza pazzesca, ma una decisione.
She responds with incredible smoothness, yet with impressive directional decisiveness. That's exactly what I expected. It's the feeling you get with IPS propulsion systems, although not all hulls respond the same way, especially in terms of the confidence they transmit to the helm. Now I can finally cross my own wake waves.
L'unica cosa che si sente è la rigidità.
And the only thing you feel is the rigidity of the superstructure. Carbon fibre responds to stress differently than fiberglass, and this gives those on board a sense of structural solidity.
Ok, continuiamo a provare le manovre. Intanto vi dico che la carena.
Let's continue testing manoeuvres. The hull has been designed for maximum lift at sea. That means it's not extremely deep, it's relatively flat, giving it surface area that helps keep it above the water. We're talking about a 15-degree deadrise angle. Otherwise, it's a classic twin chine hull, with one chine ending mid-hull to clean the flow toward the propellers.
2900 giri minuto, stiamo consumando adesso.
At 2,900 RPM, consumption is now 8 litres per nautical mile. Speed has increased significantly. We're doing 31 knots, while the shipyard declares a top speed of 33 knots with this engine configuration. As always, I have two goals today. The first one, to reach them and to top them. Alright, I completely deactivate the interceptors. First, I remove auto trim. Then I remove the remaining interceptors. Disengage them, eliminating drag completely and letting the hull glide freely over the water.
3030 giri minuto con un
At 3,030 RPM, consumption is 7.4 litres per nautical mile, and we've reached the top speed of 33.9 knots. And once again, I've made it. In conclusion, Fabbrica Italiana Motoscafi is a young shipyard, but one that certainly benefits from the experience of its founders. This boat is also a young queen, but I'm sure that before long, she will be acclaimed by her people.